happy, but I feel like I need to say this. Cancer sucks. But it's not a death sentence anymore, and it's manageable. But please do have a look into your family history and do take prevention seriously. Please. And as for the second part of what I'd like to say, you probably all know this, but the Quidditch community is fucking amazing. Pardon my It's a community of empathy, friendship, love, and amazing support. So thank you everybody for being here.
We have something for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And thanks. I can just say thanks. A big round of applause. Australia love once more. That's fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your support. And now, without further ado, I want to present the teams of the final to you. Team Belgium and Team France.
This is a game. Well, this is a game, but this is going to be a great game.
Oh man, oh man. We were like waiting the whole week and we were waiting the whole year for this. France versus Belgium, a matchup for the ages. Then in the middle you can see Steve Cockrum. He'll be the head referee of this game. Joined by him are a lot of experienced refs giving their best in this effort right now. There's France versus Belgium.
Nice to see that as they run around the pitch for a final quick warm-up, they pass each other and high-five. That little bit of sportsmanship in this sport goes a long way.
Absolutely. But that sportsmanship is going to end in a few seconds when, with all their might, both teams will get on each other's throat. And I think we'll have a quick, short ceremony to start this game.
I think as they know each other fairly well, some of them are fairly good friends.
Yeah.
But there are no friends on the Quidditch field, especially with opposing teams.
Absolutely not. I mean, both teams aimed for the title in this case, and I think both teams would be quite disappointed to lose it in this last steps. But now the national anthem of Belgium, I think.
Do you know the national anthem of Belgium?
I don't know, but I know it's not in French.
Do you know the French national anthem by any chance? And this is quite nice, a nice little touch. Let's see, do you think any of them are going to sing? I can see one or two of them kind of singing along there. I always like it when you watch other sports and you get majority of the team doing the singing and then one or two just looking very stern, straightforward, concentration, intense just there though. It's a nice little touch actually, I do like this. I think it's kind of...
Maybe we should shut up.
Ouch.
No.
Ouch. Ooh. go commentary on your own now.
That's as French as it gets.
Yeah, this is very French.
I couldn't be more French than like
So from where we're sitting in our commentary booth, we can hear people singing the French national anthem. You can hear it blasting out, and you can see it on some of the players like Albert, Mikel, just blaring it out. Cedric, they are really going for it. You can see the passion that they want
look
this.
at Albert closing his eyes and singing with all of his heart.
Hopefully he has some voice left for the game. That'd be a travesty.
Absolutely. But I think he'll take it. He'll take the odds.
Exactly. I think. I said, like I'm saying, going back to what I said before, I think it's nice to see stuff like this because it kind of helps professionalise the sport.
Absolutely.
A lot of other competitions have this, so it's nice that we have this too.
Absolutely. And these players down there, they put a lot of effort to be there. I think they deserve the recognition, they deserve the respect. And these national athletes are kind of way to show them this respect.
So respect for not just the players who are on the field, but for also all the players back home in those respective nations.
Absolutely.
So all the players in France and Belgium who train hard, who may not have made this team, but who've helped get this team here is by playing against them, training with them, and all that.
Absolutely. So one final shake hands, and then it's brooms up.
And there's no more friends. Sorry. I've asked this every single time, but who do you think?
I mean, Gio, you know as good as me that these teams match up pretty evenly right now. I think it comes down to who gets to put the stamp on this game early on and manages to maybe hold off the first counter adaptation of the coaching crew.
I think it'll be Swim personally.
Yeah.
I think it'll come down to the seeking game, the bubble, if they set a bubble, if they can even set a bubble.
Yeah.
I think with beaters like Rulebooks, Cedric, Ruhr, it'll be very difficult for either team to have maintained control. So all they need is those quick seconds to make those to catch a snitch.
Absolutely. And I'm wondering, like, when it comes to the coaching duel of Louis Lermite for Belgium and Cedric Gillian and José from France, who will outmaneuver their opponent? Because maybe these teams are so even, maybe it comes down to that one coaching decision in timeout, to that one final call when it comes to getting the seeker on the pitch, seeker on the pitch in a different way.
I think what will be quite interesting is if either team can force the opponents to take an early timeout, that could be a big factor. If they start gaining momentum, force the other team to take timeout to break the momentum so they can't take it for the snitch on pitch tactics.
Absolutely. And do you remember EQC Division 1? Do you think it's fair to like draw some conclusions from the game Antwerp versus Paris? Because in a way, these teams are similar. They're definitely not the same, but they're similar in their playing style.
Yeah, you can
and
see
there it was Antwerp holding their own, but then as soon as the Seekers came on the floor, Paris flipped the script.
Yes, I think like you could make that comparison. I think, as you said, there are several players who are different, potentially several different tactics, especially with the French national team, considering that Cedric, the coach, plays for the Frogs.
Yeah.
So we'll probably coming with a different set of tactics than Titans do. I don't know if you're catching this on the live stream, but the French chants, they're blaring.
Yes.
You can hear them in the crowds going with it as well.
So, I mean, I'm getting pumped just sitting here. And I'm not even French, and I'm behind like a glass wall right now.
Yeah, I noticed it earlier in that third place when the UK were going for it. All the UK fans in the stands were going for it too. When the German team were going for it, everyone was getting pumped up. This is that kind of, maybe that extra little push would help with the support from the stands.
Absolutely. It's great to have the stands as they are. Bamberg has greeted us with open arms. A lot of fans made their way to the Bamberg, and that's also huge impact, I think, for the whole tournament, for the viable tournament, and for the growth of our sport.
It's been quite nice to see even maybe you'd say the less competitive games or the teams that aren't showing us in front of us, no finals, but just generic games in the group stages, did have big crowds. This stadium was pretty much full for most of the weekends.
Yeah, especially on Sunday, I think.
Especially today. I can't imagine the anticipation the players down there, especially for Brooms Up.
And the pressure, man.
Yeah.
Think about the pressure. I mean, for a whole year, both these teams wanted to dethrone UK. UK now in the third place, and it's up for grabs right now. It's right there for your taking, right there.
France, the runners-up last time, and having beat the UK, especially with, again, we was talking about that snitch on pitch, they were up where Callum Lake caught to go to overtime, and then they caught in overtime with Sammy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if it's a swim game, I'd still tip my hat towards France.
Yeah, same here. But I mean, when we're talking about them losing games, it just goes to show you that there's a lot of parity in the top 4, maybe top 5, top 6 teams. Like, imagine these teams matching up 10 times. I wouldn't be able to decipher which team would win more often.
No, not at all. When you go 10 times, 5 and 5 easily.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of elimination games, and I kind of love it, that you have to bring it at one game. This is all you've got, and these players deserve to stand right here in the final.
And I think you can see that in the more experienced players who, especially when the pressure comes, they don't crack.
Absolutely. Quite contrary, sometimes they even outgrow their own performances.
They step up to the plate.
Off we go.
And Sammy first to the quaffle, passes back to Mikel, and bludger control with France, who sub off immediately.
Immediately. Pogu now in, and Amir.
That was very nice tactical play there, bringing on their fastest players just to get those bludgers.
Yeah.
And now can set up a good
You have to
offense.
take every single small edge your opponents give you, and France wanted to take both bludgers right from the start.
And even Sammy subbing off for Valentin, who started as a beater, just to get that bludger control. A lot of the French players will play multiple positions, which just shows a very good understanding of the game.
Yeah. Not a lot happening here. Slow movement by Mikel. Septibit is right on him.
It's that Baylor defense.
Yeah.
And immediately, Louis wants to make a counter-attack happen. Firing bludgers left, right, and centre, beating out everyone, getting control back. There are no bludgers. There are no bludgers. What can be happened?
Come on, go for it. Go for it.
Straight through the top hoop.
First blood. Septibit.
So I think what that was caused was Sepe playing that Baylor defense where Sepe was point, which meant Mikel couldn't really do much, with Louis in the middle hoop potentially going for that deflect if it goes through there. Unfortunately, the shot didn't go through for Mikel of France.
Yeah.
And the quick counter was on. Louis immediately trying to beat out everything that moved, breathed, or lived in this 10-mile radius.
Oh, look at that. He's catching the ball, going for the second beat. Dodged by Mikel. But he smelled blood. Great defensive possession by Louis Limit.
I think this could be the difference. Players like Louis Limit just playing an absolute masterclass.
Second try. Goal. There it is. Emil Ertz.
That was really nice play from the Belgium Griffins.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
do you think this is enough to maybe cause concern for France?
I wouldn't be that concerned for France. I mean, they have to get rid of these quick transition goals that they're allowing Belgium. But as of now, we haven't seen how their set defense works against Belgium. Just maybe try to get rid of these quick turnovers and maybe go for a long shot, which was in.
That was a good thing. But let's see. So Belgium advancing. There is no bludgers on defense for...
Again, no set defense.
Pops over the top, pops it back, fakes the shot, and dunks it through. This no bludgers defense is really causing them problems for France.
I think they're being outplayed on the beater floor as well, man.
I think what a big factor is, there's no one who can defend. So Louis Limit is playing very smart. Every time the beaters are coming in, Louis is just throwing his bludger back to hoops or taking a phenomenal trade like that. So that means that the French beaters can't really do much, but now they have control. Let's see if they can set up more. The problem is also the chasers for France are all behind the hoop.
Yeah.
So the moment the quick counter is on, there is no one to defend.
They're going for long shot, and this time it worked. Nice shot. Is that Valentin?
I think that's Valentin. So now this is the real first chance you can probably see of the French defense. As you said, probably not too much to worry about. 3-2. Time is 3:35.
But here with France going for long shots, isn't that like kind of like giving an edge to the defense, which is a Baylor defense, which should be quite good at like intercepting balls coming from a long distance?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the shots have been that long. There have been a step or two outside the keeper zone, especially with prowess of Mikel, who is a phenomenal shooter.
Yeah, man, this guy is a forearm awesome.
So very well known in Quidditch to be a prolific shooter. You can't really say that's a long-range shot for him personally. The ball over the top. Oh, a nice sidestep, but it's been reset back. So I think as you're saying,
Standing ovations for the passing game of the Belgian Griffins.
So I think that's not really a long-range shot, and because there is not one person on each hoop, there was a hoop open. The shot is there, so Baylor can't really be dealing with that.
Yeah.
But that's a nice take out the air for Mikel, and the drive is on. There is no blind beaters. One beater.
Doesn't matter if there's a chaser.
And that just demonstrates the importance of supporting your players on offense. Just because someone's gone up and they're really good, like Lenny, number 25 of France, doesn't mean that they might not get beat, might drop a catch, might need to pass it off.
Yeah, Marine did an impeccable job, number 18 for France, securing the goal by her pure presence. Louis Lemit, as good as he is, he can't be anywhere at all times.
Exactly. He can't make the beat of. He can make a beat on one player, but maybe not three simultaneously.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's doing his best.
He's doing his best.
Maybe next year.
So what do you think? I know what do you think about the rise of Baylor in the European Quidditch again?
Yeah, I gotta say, we're seeing a lot of teams, especially the top teams, going for Baylor defense, and it just goes to show you that stopping drives seems to be like one of the main goals in this, at least this year, for their offenses.
Well, Baylor's typically a shot defense. Drives is how you beat Baylor. It just goes to show that maybe the driving days are dying. Passing offenses are a lot more common now in Quidditch, setting up a big wide square on players on four corners of the pitch, which means that the passing there try and open up the exposed defense, especially considering that the only player who will be on point will be the keeper because they're immune in the zone.
And would more elaborate pick and roll play maybe be a way around to beat Baylor defenses?
So the issue isn't so much the chaser on point, it's also the beater.
Yeah.
So realistically, you should probably maybe aggress not onto the point chaser, play a bit more slow ball, and then attack the beaters. When there's no bludgers, that's when you do your pick and roll and you drive it over whoever's on the hoops. Does that make sense? I'm
completely agreeing. I was just looking at the score, which is still at 30-30. I'm sorry, Gio. But you're absolutely right.
And again, it's the Belgium's turn to play Baylor. But the Belgians play it slightly different. What they do is they have two players in the middle of the two hoops, so they're trying to guard all three simultaneously.
Yeah.
With a chaser behind, watching the dangerous pass over the top. This still does allow that shot to be open, as Mikel has taken twice. We have a replay now.
Yeah.
There we are. Now
Okay,
we're back
that's
live.
not a long shot. You're absolutely right. That's definitely not a long shot.
See, I would say a long shot maybe from the halfway line now, especially with some of the players who are on show for you for today. At this level, at this high-level Quidditch, this is the top-tier European Quidditch.
And look at the duels of Pogu versus Victor Motgard. They're just going at it. Always, it's these two. Look at this. Right now, it's going to happen.
Very nice interception from Lenny.
Right.
Unfortunately, the pass was not quite long enough. So Lenny demonstrated his athleticism in the game against the UK.
Yeah. France bounced back from the, let's say, have a slow start in the beginning with the quick transition goals that Belgium put up against them.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is you can't really count them out. But there we are, nice passing.
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen in the game, especially in Europe, really develop recently, is this long passing.
That was a little bit high for my taste, but the refs are not convinced.
Let's just see what that's called. Oh yeah, I think it's because of the immediate let go.
Yeah.
It was a lot more accidental, and it didn't really impede Valentin too much. So I think the refs, Steve Cochran, playing no harm, no foul. And I like that kind of style of
I'm right
refereeing.
there with you. Keep the whistles
to a minimum.
Few,
if possible.
yeah.
It's especially on a hot day like this. It's a really warm day. We don't need a 10-minute game of Quidditch being 20 minutes because of the fact that...
Oh, no goal, but that was really, really close.
I'd say we don't need a 10-minute game of Quidditch being 30, 40 minutes just because of the constant brooms down.
Absolutely.
But
Savignon, Marcin, almost successful there.
And now we have William Nivelle at number 29 with the quaffle, who was beating earlier. Got brooms up, got the quaffle, and then comes on as a chaser. Passing to Lenny, number 25, who unfortunately bends the hoop so it doesn't go in. Unfortunately, it's an unlucky bounce.
Pass by Sami Fika, intercepted by Septibit. Breaking through. Stop there.
Really good, strong challenge there. That's what it needs to be done. But unfortunately, they clean up, and that's really good heads-up play from Belgium there.
40-40.
Close game. Kind of as predicted,
we
I think.
knew it would be. We knew it would be.
I think both teams knew this. I think realistically, you need to, even if you lose a goal and it goes 5-4,
Yeah.
it's still going to be swim. I think the entire...
I would be very surprised if this would be out of scrimmage by any teams. Andy missing a beat. Septivit with the interception. Louis there to pick up any opponents and chasers. That's going to be in.
Nice attempt from Sammy there, but...
A bit late, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see what Steve says.
Yeah.
But what's quite nice, though, was the pass. Often, a lot of time... Oh, there's a replay coming in. That's from the tackle.
Yeah, it's from earlier. Yeah.
And the pass over the top, and the fake, and the shot through the top hoop. That was really nice from Nathan.
Okay. Just a quick warning to Sami. Yeah, he was a bit late there, but he still has to try. I mean, you can't convince this guy not to give every single thing he's got right now.
And I think, again, like Steve understands the importance of the game. It's a tight game. You can't really punish players who have put in passion.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, at this level, the passion is there. It's them just trying to give it their all.
I mean, that's why we play.
William Nivelle pass over the top. Lenny,
No
unlucky.
goal. Oh, man.
Just wide. But that was a lovely reception and a shot. That was a really nice alley-oop.
Bludger control with Belgium.
Sammy attempting to call
I
time out
was
there.
just going to say that. Did he really just try? Steve didn't see it.
No, Steve just kind of gave him a look and went, really?
Yeah, don't go there, bro. Yeah. Oh, Louis with the beat.
Ooh, that is no good. Nice side-by-side shoulder barge, which is totally allowed. That was really nice. Good heads-up play from William Nivelle. And there is that timeout that Sammy wanted.
All right.
Just a little bit earlier.
Okay, 50-40. I mean, tough spot. I'm not the best coach. Gotta be honest with you. What do you do?
I think that timeout was a good idea. I think what that does is they know that Belgium are going to call their timeout closer to snitch on pitch. So now they, in the mind games factor, they've got a little bit of a advantage.
Yeah, look at that replay right there. Nice pass. And a bit late. Yeah.
I think he was going for the block more than anything else. It didn't seem malicious at all. But as I was saying, calling that timeout there, especially when you know that Belgium are likely to call a timeout in about 16 minutes or so, which is when it's quite commonly called,
Yeah.
it means that you are preparing to stop where the other team's momentum is still in their head. So you've kind of they've had to put it on ice just for a quick second, for a minute, and they have to now get back into that groove and that rhythm,
Yeah.
where you can kind of knew that was coming. So let's see. Let's see if that timeout does anything.
Yeah. I mean, personally, do you like the timeouts in our sport?
I love them. I think it's a good idea. The game is so fast. Yes, there are a lot of stoppages, but I think that is more because of the intensity of the sport, the contact and so on. I think it's a perfectly valid use of the timeout.
I also quite think it enhances the effect of good coaching on a team, which I'm always in favor of.
I think it makes the game a lot more technical. It means that you need to be aware of so much more than just what is the current score. You need to be thinking ahead, what the other team's doing. And again, as you were saying, like coaching-wise, it does just add a whole new element to the game.
Sloppy pass there.
But that's fine because it went over both boundary lines in one, both the turnover lines in one action. It's not a turn. It's still a reset, but it's not a forced reset. Yeah, apologies for that. Basically, I meant because it went over the halfway line and the keeper line in one movement. That's one reset, not two. It's fairly warm today, so losing my marbles.
Yeah. Okay, Cedric, the coach, now on pitch with the black headband, going for the napalm.
Napalm.
Doesn't face Louis.
Oh, reverse pass was there. That was a nice attempt for Mikael and William. But I believe Steve may be calling beats. Let's see what it was.
Maybe a pass off the beat?
Interesting, maybe, yeah.
And back to who's for France, number 29, illegal tripping. Remand!
Yeah, that's fine.
I hope you guys heard that in the live stream. Unfortunately, we didn't.
We're in a glass case of emotion.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're in a glass case with 30 degrees or more blistering down our shoulders, and still, I think these players down there with, I think, 8 games. This is the 8th
Yeah,
game,
I think
right?
this is game 8 for them. I still want
Sheesh.
faces. And there we are, Louis and Cedric trading. There is no bludgers on offense. The drive should be there, the pop over the top, and the dunk from behind.
This is beautiful Quidditch.
But Mikel with the quick counter, and I'd say that was potentially a long-range shot, considering that Mikel was running. But that was absolutely beautiful Quidditch there from Mikel with the quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Very good heads-up play, we call it. It's the awareness, situational awareness. And it appears that Sepe is calling his timeout.
All right, okay. I mean, when you're saying awareness of what is happening at any moment, this is something you can learn, or like at least try to get more experience? This is something you're like born with and talented with. But let's look at the replay, sorry. And please continue.
So you can see the nice pass over the top when the bludgers were through, and the dunk down, which was really good. And even as that ball went through the hoops, you could see Mikel looking up to try and catch it over the shoulders.
Yeah.
I think stuff like being aware, that heads-up awareness, it comes with time. The more you play Quidditch, the more you do sports in general, and the more you try and watch the sports.
Yeah.
Stuff like watching this weekend from Ruhr Phoenix. It will be a good way to learn how, basically improve your intelligence, your sports intelligence, your sports IQ.
Sport IQ, yeah.
And players like Mikel, who has played for a fair amount of time, would obviously be very good and having learnt that. But I'm sure when Mikel first joined the sport, or any sport in general, the IQ wasn't as the same it is now. Again, because it comes with time and experience.
Which position do you think like relies a little bit more on these instincts?
So
I like not say instincts, but you mean
the intelligence. I think beating. I think beating is probably the least applicable to other sports in our sports, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I totally get you. I mean, the chaser and keepers kind of feel like a mix between rugby and handball. The whole beating element is what makes our sport very unique. Good call there by number 29.
Nice. Yeah, I think the other position, I'd say second potentially, is the ball carrier. The person who is commanding the offense and commanding the defense. Very nice.
I really like the defense of France there.
That was Anna making a beautiful beat.
Driving right into a bludger, but there is Albert.
That's Mikel.
Yeah, and he knows there was contact over the shoulder, and Sepp knows it too.
It was Mikel, not Albert.
Oh, I'm sorry, is it Mikel?
Yeah. Mikel, number 9.
I'm terribly sorry, and there's number 13 on the right-hand side of the pitch.
9 and 13.
Thank you, Gio.
16, illegal
See, you're learning
contact
something
to
as
the
well
right.
as in Germany and Bamberg.
I knew a little bit of my German, but it's come in handy this weekend. But yeah, I believe...
And look at the replay. We got it right here. You can see it. Yeah. Bit too high. There you go.
Yeah, and Steve the ref calling it correct, and Mikel on the hoops. Really can't miss from there. Well, no, I say really can't miss. Could miss, but Smart did the smart thing, and...
Put your arm through the hoop.
There we are. That's my catchphrase. I'm claiming that now.
Yeah, and it's your trademark patent pending and stuff. I think I'm going to get that tattooed or something.
Oh, God, no, please don't. The score is all level 6-6. And I think this is roughly what we expected. I didn't expect it to be anything more or less in terms of tight gameplay. Both teams know each other very well. Both teams have, I would say, very different styles of offense, though.
Oh, great interception!
From Lenny, who's very athletic, passes to Mikel, who passes it to William Nivelle on the hoop, who dunks it in, does a little roll, and a nice little celebration to boot.
Oh my God, this was a great interception, great anticipation by Lenny there, number 25 of France.
So I think what caused that was being aware of how Belgium play.
Yeah.
They play this large passing game.
Yeah, they wanted to do reset, and he saw it coming from a mile away. The pass from the right-hand side corner back to the midline. You see it right there. He knows it. Bam.
Oh, that was beautiful. Nice stutter step, good spin, and then passes, takes the contact, spins, passes off, and it's straight through the hoops. That's really nice play from France there. Good teamwork.
Yeah, good defense turns into better offense sometimes.
And I think, so France are now hitting them on those quick counters.
Yeah.
Mikel on the last one, or the one before the last one, and there we are with William Nivelle. I think another way, we were talking about Quidditch intelligence and high IQ plays.
Yeah.
Another way you can do that is by maybe attending fantasy tournaments and maybe being a manager. Or if you want to try and draft a team, it will help you understand what goes into a team, tactics.
There's an exchange going on. I mean, I got to say, I was pretty surprised when I saw on day one, France wasn't aware that was something like triple BS. We're really confused by it. And that's something they picked up during this tournament.
So when you say triple BS, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, of course I can. As we all know, normally we have bludger supremacy, which is only having 2 bludgers in your sole possession. With triple BS, you kind of don't have 3 bludgers in possession, but you kind of do as you're having 3 bludgers on the ground and one being able to pick up at any time to beat any opposing beater coming towards you. I mean, it doesn't always happen. You need to have a situational awareness of 2 bludgers being loose on the ground, and then you can start to throw them one by one back to hoops, but there's always got to be 2 loose ones as you pick up one and throw them down your hoops.
And as you said, I think it's a rare situation that happens. I think if you can make it happen, it's very advantageous.
Yeah.
Because it forces the other team to try and adapt to that. And as it's so rare in Quidditch, you don't see teams adapt to it often or very well quickly.
Yeah. And it frustrates you.
It's very
crazy
annoying.
for a beater. I mean, Poku was livid.
Because you can't claim immunity.
Yeah.
That's what beaters love to do. Beaters love to hit and claim immunity.
That's the one time you feel safe.
Very nice play there from Cedric to not lose the bludger at the halfway line. Managed to pass it, was going to get beat, managed to pass it back though.
I gotta say, when Louis subs out for Victor Mordgard, there's not a big drop off in play. Quite contrary, Victor is making an impeccable game right now.
So Mikel wants a quick counter there, but unfortunately there is 2 bludgers, and Mikel is good, but 2 bludgers who are 2 beaters who are both armed and phenomenal beaters.
I'm not sure about that one, and he's not either, so he's stopping his play.
But the score is 8-7, nothing in it. I don't really see, as we said, any team getting out of range.
In 10 seconds, Vincent Fröhlich, the snitch for this final, will step onto the pitch, and in 1 minute, the Seekers of Belgium and France will follow suit. That good catch, although he was beaten, but like I said, I love the catch, the one-handed catch by Albert right there.
That was beautiful.
This time it was Albert, right?
That was Albert.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you learn your numbers.
Yeah, I'm giving my best, man.
And the call is that number 12 from Belgium was off pitch. Thought it was close. Nice attempt though.
Yeah. Vincent Fröhlich, his last name means happy.
Oh, that's quite nice. I don't know how happy he will be with 2 very aggressive Seekers running at him. Let's see how long his smile lasts.
And I mean, look at the Seekers that we had there on the right-hand side, Sami Fekak. And I gotta out myself right now, I'm a huge fan of Sami's Seeker play. Huge fan. On the left-hand side, we have Laurent Venkeler.
Unless Sami's playing against me. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no. Kind of makes you a hater in that sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. But let's see. Bludger control is with the Belgium team.
And there we see Louis going for the creation of the bubble, but for now, it's the French team having it.
There is no, as we said, no bludgers anywhere. They're all on the floor. Nice, aggressive seeking there. The beaters having to do anything they can to try and make it work. Sami Fekak with the attempt. The bubble is being set up by the French team, but there's an attempt to catch him behind, but that was very close.
Oh my God, he's gonna dream about that one.
If he was caught, that would haunt him for a while. But
absolutely.
Luckily, he was fine.
Meanwhile, Belgium still in possession. I don't think they've lost a quaffle for a whole minute now.
No, and I don't think they really will. As we said, it's going to just trade goals. It's not the end of the world. That was a nice attempt, but realistically, in Snitch on pitch, the beaters need to be on Snitch. At the moment, there is no beaters of France near the Snitch.
Coming on the right-hand side.
She's coming back on, but she's, again, going for the beaters, as opposed to the Seeker. The Seeker is the priority in Snitch on pitch.
goal for France. But I agree with you, man. She should have gone for Lauren.
Vincent is trying everything he can, but these seekers are insane.
Laurent Wenkeler going for it again. Sami Fickert trying his best, but there's always someone putting a bludger on his body, getting him back to hoops.
Now again, Louis Limit is back on with Tim van. Can you pronounce that one? Because I can't. Hugevoort.
Replay for you guys. Look at your screens right now. Sami smelling his chance, and then.
I think Roland would be disappointed with himself there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was there for the taking, and Vincent got lucky. And I think France got lucky there too. I think Sami made the right choice trying to go for the catch.
Yeah.
But realistically, what you want to do is you want to coerce the seeker, the snitch towards your own hoops.
Exactly. He should have not gone from the left, pushing Vincent towards the half of Belgium, but from the right, pushing him on the outside of the boundary, and there being having a wall behind him in some sense.
So yes and no. I think also you want to try and get the snitch onto the far side of the pitch.
Yeah.
Because we've got the subbing rotations. The big
illegal contact to the snitch's neck.
Yellow card for Laurent Wenkeler for legal contact with the snitch.
So interesting tactic here. If I was Belgium, I would give the ball.
I would score myself.
Or I would score an own goal, because the end of the game ends when. Okay, delay of game.
You would score on your own in order to minimize the time of your seeker being off the floor.
Number 12, delay of game.
I think Amelia is a little bit confused with what is going on there, but it is a delay of game call. Realistically, I would, as someone is calling from outside our booth, score on your own hoops.
Yeah.
And if France are clever, they would walk very, very, very slow towards the hoops. As you can see there, Lenny making no attempt to run. I would hope, Suzanne Fisher allowing him to jog it in. And he misses. Let's see what that is called for.
All right. What happened now? I mean,
are you going to call an intentional miss there?
I didn't want to say it.
Is that a card?
No,
I'm not too sure.
No.
I think colloquial, we all know colloquially that he did that on purpose, potentially. I'm not going to make any wild accusations, but I do think it looked intentional, that he looked and tried to score and just missed. I think you can try and argue that one is what is going to happen. I think that's what they're discussing.
You think? I think that's going to be... Can you card someone for not scoring?
I'm not too sure. If you know more about the rules than us two, which I think is a lot of you here, please type in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
This is the contact, potentially. Yeah, 2 hands over the top.
Yeah.
Right on the head.
Yeah.
You can't really do that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's how some of the best catches have been made, from over the shoulder.
So, but you've got to be really careful when you make contact.
Yeah.
I do really like the catch where they go between the snitch's legs.
Oh.
I'm a sucker.
Absolute fan favorite from everybody, I think.
I'm a sucker for a flair play. Let's see what the call is.
Okay, first, some talking session.
Explaining what is going on to the speaking captain, number 898 Bonner.
That's just fair. I mean, these guys deserve to know what happened in order to understand the call. And Lenny is getting a blue card.
Blue card! France, number 25, delay of game, stalling.
Delay of game. I think because of the intentional miss, it makes it a delay of game call. Either way, I think that is worth it, but it was just a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, they scored their own goal, that's why.
I gotta when I'm home, did he really miss it on purpose?
I have to rewatch it.
It gave him 5 seconds more?
No, so what happened was he missed, and then it forced them to have to score
all
their own
right,
goal.
okay, yeah.
See, there we are, Sami Fikak sending the seeker towards his own hoops.
He will have time, he will have a few seconds.
That was very close, but a nice beat from Polgu. Face beats Louis Limit, and from that face beat, Louis Limit managed to gain bludger control.
Sami is subbing out. Incoming is Nouvelle, number 29 for France.
So William Nouvelle has started as a beater, played as a chaser, and now going for seeking. William Nouvelle, a man of many talents.
Meanwhile, 90 to 100, the goal was by Verle Bommer.
The diving attempt there, and as a broom's down.
All right.
I think, yeah, as I was saying, William Nouvelle, the only thing he hasn't played today is keeper, to my knowledge, in this game.
Yeah.
To play 3 positions in the EG final. Fair enough, the first one as a beater was just for speed to brooms up, but I'll still think
We'll count it.
Yeah, I'll count that.
I mean, we need some stats. We can
pad the stats.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Let's see what the call is. There's a little bit of a discussion, which again, I think is good. Be clear. This is a final. You want to make sure that every decision from referees is clear.
Yeah. Niklas Müller, the assistant ref, having some discussions with Steve Cockram.
So I still can't call this. I think it's still too close to call in terms of the Seeker game. Both teams have had an attempt. You had Emile, a golden opportunity, but unfortunately didn't make the catch.
And except for that one little time, both teams try to minimize the time any seeker has on the snitch, which is the right call.
It's phenomenal from the beaters, just the athleticism to just go for it at this heat.
And that's exhausting.
They are sprinting non-stop. It's insane. No call. No harm, no foul call. Okay, so beat out. Now William Nouvelle has some time.
Yeah.
But let's see if Louis Limit will try and end that.
Meanwhile, Lenny scores with 90 to 110, 9-11. Pogu. And another stoppage.
I'm not too sure. I was paying attention, apologies, to the far side beater game, which was Cedric versus Louis, and I think that is Tim as well. But let's see. It was near side on Pogu. Potentially maybe guarding, swatting. I'm going to make more speculation, things that beaters do. Let's see.
But like in games like this, I sometimes feel like the beater game cannot be overvalued in some ways, and it's not a flashy position, to be honest. I mean, the seeker is getting all the glory, a cool chaser goal gets all the glory, but the beaters run their hearts out in games like this.
Thing is the beaters make the difference. You can have if you have great beaters, you need a mediocre seeker, because eventually that snitch will get to second handicaps that after 10 minutes of being on pitch, that means they can only use one hand. And again, mediocre snitches can catch that. As mediocre seekers can catch that, even against the great snitches. Mm-hmm. But if you have bludger control and a bubble, you have 10 minutes of continually attempting to catch until they get to one arm.
Okay, wait a second, we're waiting for the call. No call. I'm giving you an either or question right now. Let's say you have an average beater, but there's always one category where he excels at. One is throwing precision and speed, and the other is speed and endurance itself. Which one would you prefer?
I would probably say endurance. The speed and endurance one. I would probably say the speed and endurance because of basically games like this, you want your top tier player on as long as possible.
Yeah.
And the throwing accuracy is good and very useful, but when you can just take that extra step closer. If you can play for longer, that means you can throw for longer.
So Sepp de Wit scoring the 10-11.
That is a nice beat there from France number 31, who is Andy.
Yeah, Andy started playing in Germany.
Okay. Do you know much more about Andy's German experience?
Yeah, Jeremy and Sami actually started at Passau in the same year.
Oh.
Quickly grew very fond of that team, and when they went back from their Erasmus year, they got back to France and just started to grow as players in all regards, and now they're back here on the same team, Team France, again.
That's a nice little reunion there.
Absolutely.
But at the moment, the bludgers are with Belgium. They have set that bubble. And let's see if they can use it.
When you're going against someone like Vincent Fröhlich, I mean, he's someone with like a low point of center of
mental
gravity. I'm
gravity,
sorry, and yeah, he's got some long arms, got a good strength. And how would you like, if you build your perfect seeker, what would you go for? Long limbs?
I would go with long limbs, so someone like Massin. Massin has got long limbs,
Yeah.
but then it's technique. So Massin's going for the constant dive, which allows our snitch to kind of step away. What you want to be able to do is go for the swim technique, where you can use your strength to block out their arms and then go for that dive. As you can see, Sammy is closing the gap by pushing the arms out of the way and then going for the dive there.
Yeah.
I think Sammy could have it very soon. Sammy looks to be inches away.
Yeah.
As
And
long
he's-
as
and
long
now
as-
he's finally getting some time on Vincent.
See, you can see what he's doing there. He's swimming his arms around, closing that gap, and then going for the catch.
I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but we're like kind of neglecting the quaffle game. The quaffle game seems to be still eye to eye, tit for tat in that regard, and all eyes should be on the snitching game right now on your bottom left corner of your screen.
So, as one of my captain, Monique Davies, would say, chasers don't matter. And nothing is more relevant and factually accurate than a swim snitch on pitch game. Chasing, especially if you have equally matched chasers, as we can see.
Yeah, 11-11 just happened.
So it's equally matched. They're going goal for goal. So no one is pulling out of range. This is where the beaters and the seekers matter more.
Yellow card. France number 69, illegal contact, illegal wrap, goal stands.
All right, goal stands, but there was a yellow card. For I think it was wrap with two arms. We should shortly have that on your bottom right corner. Illegal wrap, yeah.
Okay, let's see what can happen now. Bit of time for William Nivelle, trying to make an attempted catch. Yeah. Oh! Trying to catch from the floor as
Goodness
well.
gracious.
William Nivelle, like a frog, living up to his team there. There's an advantage being called, I believe, against France. Let's find out where it is on. What's quite nice you can see on the screen is some refs from the sidelines is running on and giving our ref team some water. Because they're not allowed to sub, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think this foul might have happened to Cedric.
Oh, I think Cedric committed the foul.
Thank you very much, sorry.
And Steve the ref just explained to speaking captain Bonnet what is going on. Cedric seems to be understanding. Again, trying to keep a cool head as well. Even if you get the card, you've got to kind of accept it. The refs aren't going to change their minds.
Yeah.
You need to accept it, move on, and move straight back into the next play.
And losing a beater in this crucial part of the game, almost as bad as losing your seeker.
So I'm going to throw a wild card tactic out there.
Go ahead.
I would potentially look at training Albert as a seeker.
Albert is a seeker, all right.
Yeah.
Can you explain?
So Albert is tall, strong, fast. With a bit of training, could potentially do really good against snitches like Vincent. When your two main seekers are Sammy, who is a lot faster, the acceleration's
and
there.
Agile. Yeah.
Agile. He's blocking the arms of Vincent legally, moving out the way, making those dives. And when you've got William Nivelle, who likes to make those dive and acrobatic catches, maybe having someone who's a bit taller and just a bit stronger might just make the difference. That extra bit of inches, because you could see Sammy and William almost getting there, but that little bit of extra reach that Albert may have.
I mean, it can't be overestimated how important it is in some. I gotta say, in some positions, it's like everyone, like having big hands in Quidditch is huge. Having long limbs for some positions is also a great advantage, and you might be right.
So I think, considering that, again, both teams are so evenly matched, they're just trading goal for goal.
Yeah.
He's not needed in the chasing game.
Gio, I think you might be onto something.
Card. France 97, illegal interaction, illegal interpositional right of way.
So as you said, the card was on Cedric.
Sorry for interrupting the call there by Steve Cockram. All right, Victor Marx sprinting towards Vincent.
Limit making a beat on Andy, then number 31. Oh, that looks close. See, as you can see, the Seeker Victor Marx is just that little bit taller than William or Sammy.
Yeah.
But there's a new Seeker for France. They've got 25 Lenny in, who has the acrobatic ability of a circus performer, in my opinion. I love to see the dive, the gymnastic ability there. But the thing is, does Lenny have the strength to kind of stop those strong arms of Vincent?
Yeah.
Can we just give a little bit of a shout out to Vincent today? I think for this game in particular, it's 25 minutes. So that's 7 minutes of swim play, and he's performed amazingly. But Lenny has the catch. I think.
But still, like, huge credit to Vincent. And we'll see if this one will be through. I'll bet we have a replay for you. We're working it. Our tech guys are on it. Let's stay with us.
The thing is, 7 minutes of swim against 2, 3, 4 phenomenal Seekers.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But we have a replay coming up now.
Yeah.
Gets down low and pushes off.
I've got to
nice
tell you,
low.
I'm not a ref. I'm not making this call, but this looks good for me.
What I liked, though, was Sammy was being aggressive, being very physical, and then going for the dive. William Nivelle was trying to go for those dives, and Lenny just did something different. Basically went flat to the ground, pancakes to the ground, and springboard off from the ground to go for the dive.
And this is it! This is it!
Your EG 2019 champions are France.
Well-deserved win. Congratulations going out to France. 120 to 150 star.
I think both teams will be very happy with the performance.
Absolutely.
Belgium played phenomenally, as you can see by the score, it being tied on quaffle points, but France just having that little bit of edge, something different in the seeking game. It's quite nice to see. And again, shout out to all the beaters, all the players. Everyone has played insanely in this game. There was... I've got nothing to say.
I mean, it was the game we kind of anticipated. It was close in the quaffle game. These guys met eye to eye on eye-to-eye level, but France with the catch, and this is why we love our sport. This snitch catch decides about the outcome of the game in so many times, and this time it was France with the upper hand. Rightfully so, they are declared the European Games champion of this year, 2019. France, Europe is yours.
So, let's just have a quick minute about that game. Was there any stand-up players for you, in your opinion? Like, any names, any plays, any things that you're going to go home and watch on the live stream, which will be uploaded onto YouTube as provided by Ruhr Phoenix TV?
I gotta say, I want to rewatch every single duel that Lou Lemit and Poogie fought. There was like at least 4 instances where these guys met 3 or 4 meters apart, going for it with full force and trying to knock out the other guys. Decisive beating play in the early games. And what do you think?
I want to see some of those Belgique alley-oops. They were insane. And that drive on the counter from Mikel was beautiful.
Yeah, the interception there also by Eleni at this one point. And one thing I think should be rewatched is that miss by the Seeker of Belgium when he was so close to the bag of Vincent, where he might have just caught it.
I think that may have been maybe a bit of nerves, a bit unexpected to be presented such a gift like that. That's almost unheard of at Quidditch's level. But credit to France, especially after that, when the Belgian player almost caught it, to come back and win it with that beautiful catch.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm kind of speechless. I think I've spoken a lot this weekend. I'm pretty sure they may be bored of my voice.
It was your job, Jim. You did a fantastic job. It was always a pleasure to be here with you.
And so have you done. You've been phenomenally as well, Philip. I'm glad I made the trip.
Yeah, and let's now enjoy these pictures of France celebrating the European Games Championship of 2019.
And I think you can see it's not disappointment so much as a bit of heartbreak for the Belgian players. Yeah. It's not that they thought they played bad. They played phenomenally.
It's nothing to regret. Absolutely.
It was literally a tie game with it being decided by Stitch Catch. And if you are going to lose, I think that's the only way, because you're just outperformed in one position.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cruelty and the beauty of our sport at the same time, the Snitch Catch. That guy in yellow, or that girl in yellow, deciding about the fates of so many players. But please, Belgium, keep your heads up high. You've played an impeccable tournament.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Belgium take World Cup last year, take this loss, the 2 losses back to back, and see how they can turn that around at World Cup next year.
I mean, It's like 5 minutes since Bamberg is over, and I'm kind of like rooting for Richmond, aren't you?
Are you really looking up tickets? Okay, so we're going to now throw over to our analyst desk.
Absolutely.
Can we just say thank you to all the volunteers of Ruhr Phoenix this weekend?
Absolutely.
And the live stream provided by them. It's
has
been amazing.
An absolute treat. Thank you guys for making this possible, and thank you guys for watching. And now it's off with Philip and Gio, and let's get this to the analyst desk.
Yes. They were still.
Thank you for joining us for the last analysis desk of the European Games 2019. I am here with AJ and Pei at the end of a very thrilling match with France just clinching the title. What do you guys think about that?
That was such an exciting final. France, Belgium, of course. If it's an EQC, if it's an EG, if it's in World Cup, it's always going to be so exciting. Long history with these two teams. For the history books, I guess. It's a fantastic game always, and today just didn't disappoint at all.
I was glad it was so exciting. I was glad it was really close. I was glad it was in swim range. There was everything we could have hoped for in such a grand final.
Excellent. Oh, we're just squishing a little bit together. So loud. Everyone's cheering, everyone's clapping. What do you think were the differences between the two teams, especially their offense? What do you think set them apart?
I think Belgium showed off their passing game again, especially on snitch on pitch when there weren't any beaters. With the beaters, it was pretty hard for them to do their passes. Then they went for Zeppa driving or really nice trolling pass to maybe Nathan. With France, they mostly had their long shots. They also had some nice plays, but especially in the beginning with their keeper, they scored, I think, 3 or 4 goals through long shots.
AJ, what did you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. The French long shots were definitely in play today. I think Belgium was playing much more their passing game, whereas France really capitalizing on their fast breaks a lot more. That classic sort of French really fast transition on the offense. And capitalizing on Belgium didn't have their defense quite set. The Belgian defense ended up being very, very good a lot of the time, very, very strong. I think France as well, actually they played very similar defenses at times in the game, both of them playing quite a conservative, tight Baylor kind of defense. Belgium would take a while to crack it, but could usually use their passing game well enough to open up a hole in France's wings and get in their hoops, like their passing around the hoops. France relying much more on the drive and much more on the shots.
So the role of gender always comes up in Quidditch. It's one of our favorite things to talk about. What do you feel is different about the two teams in regards to gender? Did you notice anything? Hey.
I thought it was interesting that both teams played with 2 male beaters while snitch on pitch. They subbed in another female chaser both, or I think for Belgium was a female keeper. I don't think it's common for Belgium though. I've seen they play with a mixed beater lineup in snitch on pitch. Maybe it's about missing Elisabeth also, who's not playing. I don't know.
It's interesting when you bring up specific players. I feel personally that Team France relied a bit more heavily on a few more key players. I feel that Belgium depth was just a little bit better because we've got to talk about Lenny, number 25 from Team France. I don't know anything more about him. All I know is his name is Lenny, and he was running in those goals for France. That would have been a different story without him.
I completely agree. And of course, he got the snitch as well, I believe, right? Is that Lenny?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It took such a long time. I think I blinked and I missed it at the end.
But I mean, Lenny has been absolutely fantastic for France against Turkey today, against the UK as well, lots of goals, and now this game as well. His absolute start for France. It's really interesting to see that France didn't put on Albert for the first 15 minutes of the game. Yeah. Lots of France is being carried by people like Lenny, Val, and so on. Mikhail as well. But in that sense, still a very, very male-heavy lineup and a very male-heavy in how they were playing. I think we can't look away from the female beaters, especially though. Players like Chiquanto for France, and of course Amel, amazing work a lot of the time. Litter controllers all over the place this game, and those players especially were doing a lot of work and a lot of running to make sure their team could get back in control. And so I think that's really important to recognise.
Yeah, and also like the absolute pace of the game. Obviously, you've got the two best teams in Europe here. So, of course, the game was very fast. But saying that, the two best teams, nobody has walked away from this tournament undefeated, which is so incredibly exciting. Do either of you have any ideas what you think that means for European Quidditch as a whole?
I think this tournament shows that European, like the top 5 doesn't exist anymore. It's a thing of the past. The top 6 doesn't even really exist because now teams like Austria and Italy as well are pushing up into that spot as well. With their games against Turkey and so on today. Germany have been on the up for a very, very long time. And I think this tournament they finally proved definitively that they are up here at the very, very top of the game with teams like the UK, France, Belgium, and so on. So as far as the future of European Quidditch is concerned, it's no longer the UK-France. It's no longer the UK-France, Norway, Belgium. It's a huge slew of teams right at the top of the game now.
I also think while sorry. I think it will also be interesting how the gameplay in Europe will evolve, because I think it was actually even though it was really complicated, I think it was a good gameplay.
Oh, the structure of the tournament.
Yeah, the structure.
Everybody got to play multiple games, and it kind of was a little bit Swiss meets bracket.
Yeah. And I think if it had been like the old classic way of gameplay, it would maybe have been other teams in the final, maybe not. But I think it's going to be interesting to see in the future how that is evolving.
So Germany took 4th place. They were ahead on pitch when the snitch came on. When they went and UK caught the snitch. As a German player, how does that make you feel for the future of Quidditch in Germany?
I mean, we're 4th place, so I think that's really good. I mean, it's 4th place, right? So it's half finale. So. I mean, of course it's sad, but it also makes me hopeful because, like, the medal was just a scratch away. So maybe next year, we don't know.
Yeah, eyes will be turning to Virginia 2020. Virginia 2020, what an iconic thing. And it's very exciting. And I think where the future we go overall is we talk about these top players, the Alberts, the Lulemets, the Metasundels, players like that. It's like, Germany is going to pull ahead because of the sheer depth in their NGB. We watched the the development team versus Team Europe on Friday, and some of those players definitely would have been on national teams and other NGBs. Absolutely. And so it's when those first-generation players retire, what comes next, which is incredibly exciting. Do you have any other thoughts you might think about watching that game or any other games for the tournament particularly?
I think we can't really not talk about the switch on pitch game in that the beating between especially Louis, Val, and so on. Absolutely incredible. I think to think that Louis 2 years ago basically wasn't beating, and now he's one of the top players in Europe as a beater as well, is absolutely insane. What a huge development for him. I think it's also really interesting to see that as a beater, his style of beating is not at all similar to players like Bill Orridge or Val, or not Val, sorry. All the other sort of big beaters in the game. He plays a very, very different style in his sort of very chaser-focused aggression, which is really showing how well he plays with his team. And that Louis Sepe that we used to have, that show that we used to have in the chaser game, is still there in this amazing keeper-beater duo now. and I think that's really interesting to note. And then just that whole switch on pitch game was absolutely insane. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Switch on pitch?
Yeah.
It was. I didn't expect it to last that long. I mean, I know the snitch, and I know he's really good, but the seekers were amazing. I thought the communication was sometimes off with the beaters, but apart from that, it was really intense. Also, I personally think that the quaffle game during Snitch on Pitch got a bit more interesting because it was a bit more. I mean, it was a variety of attacks, not only just like one person going up and driving. So, yeah.
Yeah, because of course, when all your beaters are poured into the Snitch on Pitch game, and that was the most intense bubbling I've ever seen, with pretty much everyone just ignoring the quaffle. I saw Suzanne Fisher just like pop some goals in and stuff like that for Belgium, but everybody ignored it. And when you're forced to play without bludgers, then you've got to pass, or you've just got to drive, knowing that, hey, I'm going to back myself. I'm going to get sport in this hoop because my country needs me. You just got to go for it. So I think they did that. I want more tournaments in Germany. It's been fantastic to be here. The facilities have been really great. The committee's been really great. You see them on the opening ceremony, and there was about 15 of them, 16 of them, which means you can pull together a really, really great event. The city's been behind us. The city's been backing us. And, yeah, onward to the social, I say, guys. Let's go get some beverages. I have been Bex McLaughlin.
I've been AJ.
Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.